January 2nd, 2022. Hello YouTube, hello world, good morning America. Welcome to another installment of Mesh Grow Bag's Obsessive Culture Desire. We have a new culture today, or I have a new culture. This is my lion's mane, which I got from the same supplier as my other. Oh, it looks like there's a roots. Oh, it's a piece of string in there. But anyways, I got this one the same time as my other ones, my pink oyster and my other oysters, my blue oyster, and it wasn't very full in there. There wasn't very much going on. Today it's doing pretty good, and I read that it takes a little longer for lion's mane. Oh my god, I forgot my scissors over here. So anyways, I got my log prepped here. We're doing a bigger totem. Watch some more videos, and as I thought, or as you might think, a bigger log is going to last longer, produce longer, have more flushes. There's more meat there. So they were, what was it, 5 pounds is going to last or a pound will last a year, so a 5-pound log will last 5 years. Well, my other logs probably weigh 35 pounds. So yeah, a little overkill there, but maybe I'm hoping they're going to produce a little quicker too. So I'm just going to kind of do this in my standard way. I've drilled these deeper on the bottom. I used a roto zip on these with a 5/16 inch drill. Went a little faster than trying to do them with a little hand drill. That's ridiculous. So anyway, let's cut this stuff open. I did wash my hands and wrists with alcohol. So except for everything I've handled since I did that, I'm fairly sterilized, I suppose. Alright, so I'm going to put a good little pile of this in here. And this is just the seed spawn, or the grain spawn. No sawdust mixed in, but I do have some fresh pellets here that I just hydrated. I'm going to mix a little bit of this in there and help me spread this around and knock it down into those holes. Then I'm going to get a sprayer today too. Still kind of early. It actually, the sun was out, now the clouds are coming. It's getting a little more humid as the day's going on. The sun's kind of peeking through. There it is. The sun's coming back out again a little bit now. So yeah, I just want to get a bunch of these grains pushed down in here. Get this whole thing going. And the other thing I like to do is take a fine layer, and you can see my coffee ground layer on there that I try to paint the edge with. I know mushrooms like coffee grounds. Oh, I got some portobello mushrooms that were sitting with one of these little pucks sitting on top of it, and I noticed it's got stuff growing on it, so I think I've already spawned portobellos kind of by accident just in my compost cup. Alright, that's pretty good, but let's put a little more. I got a whole, what is it? I think this is a 2-pound bag. It's quite a bit. I'm going to try to do up 2 logs today, which are, these are some of the biggest logs I've done yet. Really, there's 2.5, not 3 foot tall, but getting up there. Alright, now let's just take a little. This sawdust is a little bit dry. I'm going to get a sprayer later today. It's a little bit, the log was soaked overnight, so there's actually a little bit of water down in the holes in there when I started putting this on. So I'm not afraid that it's going to be too dry, and I'm going to hydrate a little bit later. So I want to go around and put a fine little wall of this around there. Oh, and yeah, this is my first lion's mane log, so I'm going to get that on there. Now, I drilled this one a little wrong. This is a top side. I usually just kind of dimple this a little bit, but I screwed that up and drilled this a little too deep. Got a little anxious with my roto zip tool. Yeah, the roto zip works pretty nice, so I'm going to go around and just dump some of these grains up into these upper upside down cavities in my bottom log, but the rotozip works pretty good. I don't have the core drilling bit, or the right mushroom bit, the auger bit, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's a high-speed drill that cleans out pretty. You got to plunge it a couple times to get it to cut good. If you just jam it down in there, it'll burn and collect too much sawdust in there. It won't clear out. So yeah, I got quite a few going in here. Got almost all of those jammed in there. Like I said, these are pretty deep holes. Didn't mean to do that, but hey, sometimes the mistakes I make end up being the thing that saves the whole project. All right. Oh, and one other thing, I want to put some of this spawn under the log, which I didn't do before. And gee, just about all of that. It'd be nice if you had a bench to do this, but you got to kind of try to do these in place a little bit. All right, now I'm going to take some of my fine sawdust here and rub that around in there to help kind of lock some of that in there and plug those holes full. Oh, and the water that I hydrated these pellets with is fortified with something called carbo load. It's basically molasses. It's a natural carbohydrate like molasses is. It's got a lot of vitamins and nutrients and stuff in there. And then I gave it a little shot of azomite, A to Z micronutrients. Oh, actually, and I put a little bit of garden lime in here too. I don't think the pH is going to be a bad thing. And I didn't have any gypsum or hydrated lime, but I'm pretty sure garden lime isn't going to hurt anything in the process. Where's my index marker? I also have indexed the sides of these, which I can't find right now. There it is. That way the log is all lined up. If there's any crookedness or angle to it, it ends up all stacking straight and even around the edges. I'm going to come around here and just pack that with a little bit more sawdust. I can finish this up later. Move on to my next layer. Just take the little puck of coffee grounds. Can't remember what kind of coffee this is, but I get it on eBay from Rhodes Roast. Well, it's Rhodes Roast coffee. I can't remember what exact type it is, but man, they make the best coffee. Give them a little plug. Just ordered a new batch from them. Anyways, back to the. So, anyways, this is how you do it. You just go up the top here. This spawn looks pretty good. A lot of fluffy stuff in there. Just kind of push that all down in. Give her a little sprinkle of wood sawdust to help fill in some of the spaces. Round and round we go, just gently pushing it into it goes into those holes pretty good, actually. It kind of falls right in there. 3/8 inch hole would probably be a little better, but or if you went and wallowed them out. In a totem log, you're always going to have a little space there, so the plug size for a wood plug that you're going to pound in there nice and tight is a little different. There's always going to be a little space in your totem log, so you just got to kind of work with it. Now that's a lot of spawn there. Oh, where's my little spray bottle? I need to spritz that a little bit maybe. Whatever, we'll get it later. Like I said, these logs were soaked overnight, so they're pretty wet, the whole surface. And that's going to have to work its way out. You can see putting this little sawdust edge around there helps fill in any big gaps and cracks. And I just kind of feel that that's going to, give that spawn a better start. And when it starts out, it's going to be a little bit more sealed. All right, Then I come over here and grab my next log and get a... Now see, this one isn't isn't drilled very deep. I just kind of dimpled it a little bit just to give it a little bit of surface area. And a little bit of that coffee grounds rubbed in there. See, if you get it rubbed a little bit, it actually kind of makes that whole edge black, permeated with that coffee grounds. So now we'll give it a little sprinkle on top there. That can't hurt. With all our other stuff in there, we should be good. A little tiny sprinkle of some loose stuff. Again, this might be a little bit dry. I might throw a little more water in there before I finish this. Been bending over for about, maybe 10 minutes now. I'm getting a little... Where'd the line go? There it is. You want to make these nice and straight. Because if they're nice and even and straight and all the, everything fits and is filled in, there's no gaps. And push that down real good. Give her a good little squishy squishing in there. And that's going to help those logs fuse together. Stick a little grain in there. When that gets wet, it'll puff up. Alright. Whew. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take a little break here. I don't even know. Can you see the top of the log I just did? No. There it is. So anyways, I got one more cap to put on here. Oh, it feels a little better just standing up. So yeah, there's the top of it. Take a little coffee grounds there. The disc is a little wet too, helps it hold together. And when you smear it on that wet log, makes kind of like a little paste. So I think that coffee ground layer is a good thing. I don't know, just my little, we'll see if it works. If it works, I'll keep doing it. If everything doesn't do good, I'll probably change that up. Alright. Oh, and I got one more big log to do too. It's stacked over there. We'll go take a look at that here real quick. Wow, I can probably do like 6 logs like this with this amount of grain or spawn. Yeah, I think this stuff's gonna go good. So yeah, the 35-pound log should go for 35 years. I don't know about that, but I think once it gets to a certain point where the spawn is completely consumed, large quantities of this after several, the flushes should actually kind of get bigger. After the first one, it's going to have a little bit working through there. The second one is going to be more. By the second or third year, this thing is going to have access to basically everything that's left in the log. So I don't know, but it seems maybe it depletes the nutrients. Oops, I dropped a nice little chunk there. Maybe if it deletes the nutrients as it goes, it's still, even though it's bigger, it's not going to produce more. I don't know. I'm going to find out though. Got me some huge logs, got me some regular sized logs, smaller logs, stacked logs, logs laying down. Got these totems. So we'll see. Basically everything I've seen on YouTube works, so I'm trying it all, I guess. Alright, nice little roll around there, right there, right there. I'm going to go grab a little water and spray on this top layer. The other thing is, if you have this layer of sawdust in here and you get the top watered and it's wet and you get the top wet, it kind of flows out and drips down the sides, flows from the top to the bottom. So the wetter you get the top, the more the bottom's going to get too. I think I figured that part out. Alright, I got my little spritzer bottle. This is the bottle that came with my first kit that I had, Back to the Roots. And it's a tiny little bottle. It doesn't hold very much, but the nice thing about it is it makes a nice wide fan. It's sprays in a little line, so when I go around and moisten this band of stuff here, it's all right in the crack. So that's really good. Alright, so we're going to moisten all this down a little bit. I got to go get a sprayer today. Designated mushroom sprayer. I'm going to give this a little sprinkling of that. Maybe a little bit of, yeah, this is the most fortified mix I've made so far as amendments, and I mean, it's got everything. It's got some lime in there, maybe a tablespoon of lime in that whole thing, and it's got azomite, maybe a couple teaspoons of azomite, not very much, I mean, and then it's got that carbo. Let me go see if I can find that jug. I got this, I've had this stuff forever. Well, I have it over there. I got it at a yard sale some years ago. It's been sitting outside, so the label's gone. It's not going to do any good to show it. But it's some kind of carbo load, and it looks and smells, and it's basically, wow, wind's kicking up now. Hope it didn't blow my camera over here. It's basically, like I said, molasses. Looks like it, smells like it, tastes like it. Must be molasses. Oh, I know why I dumped these on there. I don't really need that. Alright, we'll just turn that over. There we go. There's the last one. Can we see that even? Try not to knock the camera over here. Yeah, it looks good. A piece of paper stuck on there. So that's it. I have a lion's mane log. Giant. Smash a little bit more sawdust into those joints there. A little piece of spawn, shove that in there too. And that concludes our... Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year, everyone. This is my first video, I guess, of the year, maybe, if I post this. Alright, get those in there nice. Oh yeah, that's a fine looking log. I like it. It's a little narrow this way on the bottom. But like I said, I saw somebody using larger logs. Yeah, it'll get situated sooner or later, eventually. Give her a little spritz around there, keep her wet. I'll probably pour a little water over the top here. Like I said, let it kind of trickle down. If your log gets too dry, the water wants to kind of shed off, beat up, and roll off. But if the bark is nice and wet, if you spray it a little bit first, when you pour your water on the top, it all kind of drains down through the bark, through the sides. Get everything nice and evenly wet. So there's my first lion's mane log. I'm going to go to the Home Depot and get me a sprayer. And then I'm going to soak and drill my other log, which I got right over here. Let's take a look at that. It's right here. Now this one is cut a little thinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. The top layer is pretty thick. I might have to do something with that. And all these are pretty thin little cookies. But if they're thinner and they got more spawn in there, they're going to go a little faster. They're going to kick off quicker, and they're going to, so all these are going to be a little bit different, timed a little different. I understand that. And it's just an experiment. I'm going to see how it works. Like I said, I got to do, I'll probably end up plugging this top, maybe drill some holes in there and plug that, try to, just because it's so uneven there and everything. But I'm using all the logs now. That's the other thing. See if they got these goofy little bottoms, like a fork where they cut it. I'm just going to leave that fork in there, use that too, and go with it. I got this giant log here. That thing probably weighs 90, 100 pounds. I'm going to chunk that up into a couple pieces too. So, Happy New Year. Hashtag See the Forest.